Hello and welcome to Pointless Point of View. My name is Callum Taylor, and as always I am joined by the beautiful one, Fraser Doig.
Simon.
And this is episode 19. What it is, I know we've been away for a while, and it's just a wee bit of reshuffle. We're just trying to plan out how we're going to do our podcast and the things we're going to do weekly. So we've come up with an idea, and that is to have us pick a movie. One week it'll be Fraser, one week it'll be me. Sometimes it'll be bad, sometimes it'll be good. Like next week's one will be good. And we're just going to break it down and discuss it between ourselves. And this is what we're going to do just to keep it going and keeping it fresh. And this is our new episode, and this episode is going to be about Gladiator.
Yep, we're still going to have news, and we're still going to have what we've done lately, but we're going to try and come up with new ideas.
Yeah, and we're going to keep the news short for now on. Roughly try and square it to about 15 minutes, but that's our plan anyway. If it works, who knows? But this is it. Let's start, and we'll hit you with the first bit of news. This is more to us, but I don't know how we'll do it, but Xbox Diskless One S is what Microsoft came out with and said that they're planning on for this year.
Apparently they want to do that, yeah. They're still, have they confirmed it? Have they
They've confirmed it as Project Maverick.
So it's not, they've not showed it off yet. They're saying that they're working on it.
Yeah.
This isn't just for like Xbox gamers, this is more for gamers as a whole.
Yeah, because this takes off.
Because it's like, is this where it's going to go?
Yeah.
Me personally, I like discs.
Yeah, you like discs, because as myself, discs are tradable.
Yes.
The minute you go full digital, once you've got a game, that's it.
You've committed to that game, and I like the trade-in stuff with a lot of stores. I'm sure even in America they do it. But
the thing, for me, the main thing that's beneficial is we trade in games to make games cheaper for us.
Yes.
Just easier. But with the diskless, games will be cheaper. The Xbox has come out and says our games will be cheaper.
They kind of have to
if
be.
You own, yeah, because the Blu-ray costs so much. It's the same reason Nintendo games are.
But on the games on stores, like PlayStation Store and Xbox Store, are more expensive when you buy them than the store.
Yeah.
But if they're going to make the fact that you cannot buy a disc, then they're going to have to make these games cheaper. Yeah. But then on the other hand, does that mean if you want to buy on the store on a regular Xbox that takes disc, it'll be still as expensive? But if you want to buy it on one that's discless, it'll be cheaper?
Probably.
But how's that fair?
It's not. But what they're trying to do is, because they're pushing across, we have the Xbox Game Pass, which is quite a good thing, good system.
It's got its upsides and it's got its downsides.
What they're trying to do is they have a thing called xCloud coming with this, which is pretty much Netflix for gaming. Which is, I don't know why they're doing this, because they already have the Game Pass, but it seems like they're hoping people will take this and do a monthly subscription and get that Netflix cash coming in.
The only problem with that is that you have to always be connected to the internet, and don't get me wrong, most people have internet, but some folk just like to play single players on their own and none of that hubbub, and prefer to just be on their own and play single player games and be invested. And if you have to constantly be online as soon as one little tweak, like you can't even touch the game, like that would just annoy me.
I don't see people, because with this, games are said to be cheaper. The console itself will be cheaper.
It has to be.
Right? But us having Xboxes, would you take away your Xbox to get this? It doesn't make sense.
For me, I mean, I know a lot of people do like just buying games like on the store and not on disc, which I get it. Fair enough, it will happen. But for me, this isn't about just what the Xbox is, and it's about where's it go from here.
Yeah.
Because if this does do well, PlayStation will probably do it. Nintendo will probably do it.
Yep.
It's going to be interesting to see where gaming goes. Like, is it going to be 10 years from now where there is no discs anymore?
It's not a bad idea. But they have to have a refund system set
they would need to. For the average Joe who can't buy every single game that comes out, and especially like me and yourself who rely on getting other games by trading in games, fair enough, we don't just trade the ones in we don't like. If you like them, we keep them.
Yeah.
But if you don't like them or you finish them, you're like, well, it's just going to be sitting around. I'll trade it in. I'll put it towards the next one.
Because, as we both know, try to get a refund from a company digitally,
sometimes it's really hard. It all depends on the situation.
Yeah.
But it's going to be very interesting to see where we go from here, which is what I'm more paying attention to.
It's maybe released in May, they say. I don't know how it's so quick.
I feel like it's too close.
But they're trying to do it so when it's E3,
I would say
like,
they're
here
going to
you
come
go.
out at E3, show pictures, concepts, talk about it, but not actually show it.
If it's going to come out, I think it'll be close to Christmas.
Yeah, definitely.
But next part of news, and I like this bit of news, because what this bit of news is, it's something that I specifically was told, stop bringing it up, let's not talk about it anymore. So, Fraser Doig, as you know, and I'm just going to say it anyway, James Gunn has been rehired for directing Guardians of the Galaxy 3 after Suicide Squad.
It definitely came out. Is he still doing Suicide Squad?
Aye, he's still doing DC Suicide Squad.
It's kind of came out of nowhere. I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
I've literally, like, I want to sit and like talk about it, and like, I know that we have talked about it in the past, and it's been quite a gap from then, but like, whatever. Like, okay, fair enough. If he's doing it, like, he should have kept his puss shut back then. He got punished for it. He's learned his lesson. He's got his job back.
Yeah.
That's it in a nutshell. You don't really need to speculate all this stuff.
No, I know, there's no speculating, but it's the fact that Marvel's like, you said onto a DC film, but we're still going to take you back. Like, it's still a thing they don't.
It's got nothing. Do you know why that is? It's because Marvel is not afraid of DC.
Yeah, true. But
If it was some sort of competition, then they would probably like, no, you're not. But see the fact they're like, yeah, go do what you want. Make it good,
Yeah.
and then come back and make us for something good, because we've got way more money than you have. Like, they don't, like, literally DC is not even a competition to Marvel anymore.
I know, but think about it, when Guardians of the Galaxy came out, nobody thought it'd be good. James
Mhm.
Gunn took it and made it amazing.
No, it's not because of what James Gunn did with it. Fair enough, he made a good movie, but it's if everybody was worried about Guardians of the Galaxy because nobody had a clue who these people were.
Yeah, I know, but people have had Suicide Squad and some hate it, some deal with it. But like, James
For me,
Gunn-
it's not on the director.
Yeah.
Partly it's on the director well, to be honest, do you know why? It's because Marvel goes, here you go, make a film, do what you want with it, but put these beats in it, where DC are like hand grabbing the whole way. No, we
Yeah.
want this. No, let them do what they want, but give them the beats where they have to follow. So probably when he made Guardians, he was like, well, you have to use, it has to be set in this time.
Yeah.
You can only show this planet. You have to show Thanos. Like little bits, but then it's like, go do what you want. But DC are not like that. And
Yeah.
that's why they're no competition. That's why they're letting him do Suicide Squad.
Let them.
Probably. I mean, they could easily just be like, no. Because after all this hubbub, right, who is he going to choose? Is he going to go choose Suicide Squad, or would he, when he got his job back out for Guardians, would he stick with that if they gave him a choice?
I don't know, because that's really a character, a person type thing.
He would, after all the shit that's come out, he would stick with Guardians.
Yeah, you sure?
Yeah.
Ah, but that's like if you had a job offer,
Mm-hmm.
right? You were at a good job, you just got this job, these people took you on, but another job that paid more
Mm-hmm.
sacked you for a certain reason,
Mm-hmm.
and they simply came back, you would just leave that job you're at.
But it's not the same. Because you have to forget that he's done the other two movies in his franchise. This is finishing his story right from the beginning. This is his MCU child, as you like to say.
Yeah. Well, I
So
don't
this
know.
is why he would go back. If it was for a random movie that it was just the beginning, then I could see you've got a point. But it's the fact that it's the third one in a trilogy that he has made from the beginning. He's shown love into these characters. He's made them everybody sees them as.
Yeah.
So that's why he would choose.
Okay, but hopefully they'll both be good. I don't see Suicide. I don't know. I've got faith in James Gunn, to be honest. He's a good director.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah, but moving on, and this is 2 movie trailers we got this week. First one is Aladdin, which
is finally a long-ish trailer, because the
Yeah.
rest have been like a minute.
yeah,
This is the first long-ish.
So we got human genie, then we got blue genie, and they all both got ripped to shit.
For me, he's not the worst part of it.
No, Jafar,
Jafar, he's not menacing.
he's English. Too.
That too, but I mean, he's meant to be menacing.
Yeah, he's meant to be scary.
He's meant to be like
I remember
afraid of
growing up,
Jafar.
and Jafar was a tall, skinny-faced, drawn-in person who you would look at like, okay.
Fair enough, you can't get someone that really looks like that, but he's meant to be.
Yeah.
He's meant to have this terrifying feel about him. You're meant to have one look at him and just be like, well, he's the bad
Yeah.
guy.
Why would Jafar ever sit beside Aladdin like, I can make you rich, son?
He does sort of mess with his mind, but
Yeah, but he's always still menacing.
Yeah, it's like the tone of voice that you
Yeah.
put off, where you're like, I don't trust you, don't do it. But in this, he just sounds like an average guy. He sounds just like Aladdin.
Yeah.
He's not meant. He's meant to sound menacing. The blue genie thing, I've heard say. I mean, does it look stupid? Yes.
Yeah.
Will it be good as Robin Williams? No. But am I going to give it a chance? And
It seems like he's really putting some of his chemistry into it, the character.
He has to. He can't, obviously, it's not going to be a carbon copy. As long as it's not Fresh Prince as a genie. Because that's my fear. He's going to have this cocky accent, but with genie powers.
I see him still being like that. Because you see the bit in the trailer where he's like, I want to be a prince. He's like, well, there's fine line of prince. And then obviously they play the prince joke. You know what I mean? So, I don't know how they're going to do it. And I'm looking forward to seeing it because I grew up on Aladdin and Disney and all that shit. But like, at the same time, I'm like, this just doesn't seem right.
For me, it's going to be better than Dumbo, but not as good as Lion King.
Lion King.
It's in the middle, because Dumbo looks crap, because they've changed everything. But Lion King will do better than Aladdin.
Yeah.
It's the middle one.
Yeah, it's the middle child that people are like, oh, okay, we like you.
If Robin Williams was still with us and reprised his role, but different kettle of fish. Yeah. But it ain't going to happen. So obviously can't.
CGI. Anyway, moving on to the biggest trailer, which literally came out of nowhere, is the Avengers Endgame trailer.
A full-length one as well.
Yeah.
Even though a lot of it's flashbacks to fill the spots of the full length.
Because I think it was the directors have come out and told Marvel 8 minutes. It's going to be 15 minutes of the first film, but we're only going to give you 8 minutes of those first 15 to cut into trailers. And
see, for me, this is just getting to see fragments, because at this point Avengers they could literally just say, the trailer could start and it could just come up Avengers Endgame and it would be the same. Everybody would be like, I'm seeing it. This is just, for me, it's just little fragments of things I'm getting to, like, oh, is this good? What's this? This? That's what I'm thinking. When it doesn't matter how much they show me, I'm going to see it no matter what.
Yeah. I honestly, I want to see how they plan it, because obviously every time I say it to you, it's like, they say it's 15 minutes, but how the hell they change so much in those 15 minutes in the first film, if that's how it is?
It's Marvel for you.
I'd like to see what happens to Hawkeye, because they've given us a little taste there of him teaching his daughter, and he ends up having that really cool haircut.
No, he has a terrible haircut.
Nothing wrong with a mohawk, bro.
It's a bad haircut.
Nothing wrong with mohawk.
I'm right. So in the trailer, when his daughter fires the arrow, he's probably going to look at the arrow, turn round, she's going to be dust, he's going to, what the hell's going on, run into the house, see all the other dust, get angry, cut his hair and go to Japan.
That's because I imagine Hawkeye in front of the mirror just screaming.
It's a really bad haircut.
Yeah, I know, but I want to see where the
I love Hawkeye.
goes. Yeah.
I love Hawkeye, I think he's great. Jeremy Renner is fantastic. Silly haircut.
Here's a question, there's a theory going about, see in the Super Bowl trailer, all the dead characters, when it was black and white, they were red. Now, on this one, all the characters that are still alive from the main Avengers had red on them. Does that mean that in the next film, Endgame, that's them hinting at who's going to die?
I would say that it's not that much too into it, but never say never. Yeah. It's Marvel, never say never.
And also we see Bruce at one point, but we don't see Bruce in the walk up
when
to
they're
space.
walking in the spacesuits, he's the one that's missing. It's because it's the Hulk.
Yeah, we have a theory that it's just the Hulk's been CGI do. Like in the Infinity War, they CGI'd him in. He's not. He's a Hulk. He's there. He's the Hulk.
So
we're both agreeing that it's going to be like Dr. Hulk.
I don't know if it's going to be Dr. Hulk because of the whole. Technically, with the whole thing with Thor Ragnarok, he still has a bit of. He can talk and he can like act normal-ish.
Yeah.
Instead of just an angry brute, but he's definitely the Hulk in that bit. He's not Bruce. He's definitely the Hulk.
Imagine it was grey, and it's not going to happen. But still. This again, it's just, you're right what they say, they could literally just have Captain America standing there, say to the screen, Avengers Endgame.
And that'd be it, that's all I need. Like that's what a lot of, it doesn't matter, people are going to see this no matter what, these are just little snippets of giving people where you see hundreds of videos on YouTube, you see us talking about it now, where it's just like, what's this, what's going to happen with this, this is what they want, and this is what's going to happen.
So do you see it, 100% Captain America going to die, is that your guarantee thought of it?
No. There's my two things are that Iron Man and Captain America are gonna die at this together, holding hands and hugging, or
Bucky would be so sad at that point.
I'll be sad. just at one of them. And the other one is that Captain America is going to stay in the past with Peggy, and Iron Man's going to save the day.
And that's why we hear her voice in the trailer, which is a new
Well,
sentence. If it is her.
If it's either he's dying or he's staying in the past. But
Yeah.
then when they come back to the future, he's going to be old and he'll die.
Yeah.
So he's going to die as like a happy old man or going down fighting. It's one of the two of them.
It's so weird. This trailer does so much. If it's maybe the first 15 minutes, they've got white suits on to go to space, but the big fight scene, it seems like they're having with Thanos, if it is Thanos.
Well, so there's the Disney shareholders meeting,
Yeah.
and they saw obviously more because fuck them. Right?
Sorry, you didn't
the-
buy into Disney when you were younger, Fraser.
Nebula tells them where he is. He's on the garden, right? And then they all decide to go get him.
Yeah.
And then the only other thing is with Captain Marvel in the trailer, where you see her for a little fragment. You find she explains where she's been.
Yeah. I'm hyped for it. It's Avengers, it's Marvel. I'm
Damn
gonna
right,
see it.
yeah. Like it doesn't. Even if this was the worst trailer I've ever seen in my life, where it was all cardboard cutouts or it was all done in like stick motion, I'd still go. Like I wouldn't care.
I don't know, I'm looking forward to it, and yeah, I'll probably see it about 3 times, and every time I'll cry.
Is this going to be the biggest movie, the highest grossing movie
Yes.
ever? Do you think?
I can see.
is
What's
this-
the highest? Is
I
it
think it.
1.8
I think
or
it may be still Avatar.
What's Avatar? The game exactly.
The blue. I don't know how
Yeah, I
much
know
it
what
was.
Avatar is.
Yeah,
Don't
I think Avatar is the still number one.
Yeah.
I think Infinity War is near the top.
See, the thing is,
This going to top
it's a-
everything?
I see it topping all records for everything. I don't see anything ever beating this. I don't see any Marvel film beating this because it's built up. I don't see.
You don't
I
see anything ever beating it.
No, I see this. This will get every single penny you'll ever, any bit of money. This is what's going to get. And Avatar's 2.7 billion. Titanic is 2.1 billion. Star Wars: Force Awakens is 2.06 billion. And Avengers: Infinity War is 2.04.
So Avatar's still number one,
2.7. I could see this
beating it.
3.5.
3.5.
3.5 in that rough area. I see 3.5 billion pound getting made for this film's making.
Something will beat it eventually, whatever it is.
Yeah, no, let's not have
Something
that
will beat it
conversation.
eventually.
Yeah.
But I can see it. I can see it top line Avatar. Good, because I don't like Avatar.
You love Avatar, don't lie.
Well, that's a good bit of news.
Yeah, that's a good way to end it. We discussed it. That's roughly where we wanted it to be.
Good.
So, moving on to our film.
So, we came up with this idea together.
Yeah.
Just kind of thought about it. Maybe stole a couple ideas from someone else. So Callum gave me first choice.
Yeah, because you came to it and we discussed it. You were the one that's thought about this really.
I won rock paper scissors.
Yeah.
So I got first choice, and I went for a movie that I'd probably not seen in a long time, and I was just looking at my Blu-ray collection, and I was like, is it this? And I was like, you know what? We'll start with a good epic. So I chose Gladiator.
Yeah.
So I've only got one
2005.
question for you. What happened?
My God. Right. They all die at the start. So, as everyone who's seen it, Gladiator starring Russell Crowe as Maximus, the leader of the Roman army. I was going to say Romanian. Roman army. And the film it starts off with a deary, grungy battle. And as we've discussed before, most films at these scale, they tend to have these big, massive battles where people are like, we're amazing. But what I like of this is it's not the clean-cut version type of battle. It's small, it's grungy, you see everything. There's no punches being pulled here. And with this, obviously you see that yourself, Maximus just wants to go home. He's just, I want to do this, my one thing, because once he's had this battle, he's won it. There's no thing he's going to die 5 minutes in.
He is the leader of the battalion.
Yeah, and he is close to Caesar. He's the closest
who is played by Richard Harris, who is Dumbledore in the first couple of Harry Potters, who plays Marcus Aurelius, the Caesar at that time.
As you can tell, Fraser wrote all the best stuff down. So,
for me, well, let's talk about the open just for a little bit, since we're on the very start.
We're on about all this.
So for me, I agree with you. It is a very cold open. Like there's still a lot, not in the cold open where nothing really happens. It's kind of like that where there is this big epic fight and the battle's there and it's bloody, but it's not. It's meant to be like you would think of if they win a war against the barbarians.
Yeah.
It's kind of like this happy cheer moment, and they do cheer at points, but after it, Maximus is like you're saying, he goes through the camp and sees all the injured men and speaks to Caesar, and Caesar just wants to be done with war.
Yeah, you could tell 25 years this war's been going on.
He just wants it over. And it starts very grey. Like it's literally like the whole cinematography of it. It's grey. All of it's grey.
I feel like they're really trying to set a tone from the get-go. They're like, this is what this film's going to be like. This is how we're going to show you this.
For me though, like see when they go later on, when they go to Rome, it's a complete contrast. It's not grey. It's back to being like bright and lights.
Yeah.
So leading up to the story is that the Caesar, Marcus Aurelius, decides he wants to choose Maximus to take over from him.
Yeah.
He believes he is the son that he should have had.
Yes.
And he tells his real son,
Commodus,
played by Joaquin Phoenix, that he's not going to be the emperor. And for me that was the first bit of like where you properly see how good Joaquin Phoenix is, because that speech he gives to the dad where he's like he's going through like loads of emotions because he thinks he's going to be emperor next because his dad's dying. So it's like he goes from like sadness to then pleading to then anger, and he ends up killing his dad, and he takes over and he suffocates him. That's why a lot of them think it's natural causes, apart from Maximus knows that he did it, and his sister
Lucilla, played by Connie Nielsen,
she knows that he did it because he's been talking about it, saying like we could just get rid of him and stuff like that in a jokey way, but then when it happens you're like, well, he did it. So then Maximus Commodus wants him to bow down to him, and he's like no, because he knows what he did. He doesn't say it, but he's like, I know. He basically walks away, and they're like, well, get rid of him.
Yeah. And what I love at that bit is you see Maximus run straight to his camp. He's getting his stuff. He talks to Cicero, which is played by Tommy Flanagan, and he's simply like, get my men, let's go. And you see him, he goes to get his sword, and the guy's Maximus's friend, Quintus, played by Thomas Arana, I believe it is. I'm going to
I think that's what it is.
Yeah. And they simply go and they take him. They're like, let's go, you're coming with us.
And he said, well, what he says to Thomas, what he says to Quintus, which I'll just refer to that, is he says, look after my wife and child. And he tells them they're going to join you in the afterlife.
Yeah, straight up.
Yeah. So they obviously escapes from they're going to die. And he obviously runs and like literally rides for like I don't know how long it is in the movie, but for me it's like at least 3 days.
I'd say about 6 minutes because I watched it this morning because it has obviously it's split up, it has his wee bits as his dead, but I'd say roughly about 6 minutes of that film he's simply just riding straight away.
I think it's about 3 in movie days. I say it's about 3
because you see him, his hair's grown. It takes so much time to get there.
He uses like all his energy to get there, and
so much that the horse dies as he's trying to get there.
And obviously he gets there not in time and finds his wife and his son.
Oh, but we missed a bit because on the build-up of him getting there, remember the son sees the forces running towards him, and he's like, Dad, and obviously
he thinks that it's his dad, but it turns out
it's so brutal.
And then he goes, the emotion like that for me, obviously Russell Crowe's like acting was good, and it's like it's those emotional moments because he comes up and he sees all you see is their feet. You don't get to see a lot of detail, which is great because it's the child and stuff like that, but you just see their feet and they were burned and crucified alive, and he just like grabs the wife's feet and he's just sobbing and just rage, and then he just buries them and collapses. I think at that point he's probably just wants to die,
in which he's going to die until obviously a passing slave trader, gladiator trader, walks through his land. I'm not touching it. It's just that is what it is. He's going through his land and he finds him, picks him up, and obviously
that's where we're first introduced to
Juba,
who's played by
Digimon Hunso.
I'm glad you took that. Obviously he's been in a lot of stuff. I think he's okay in this movie. He doesn't get a lot, but as like the close person to Maximus is probably the best. That and the guy for Sons of Anarchy is probably the two best people that are close to Maximus. He basically gets sold into slavery, becomes a gladiator, and at first he doesn't want to fight. He doesn't care. I like that bit where he just puts the sword down, gets hit, and then he just doesn't want to fight, and they're like, fair enough. And obviously he's at that point he's carving out the initials, the tattoo that you get for being part of the Roman Legion, so they call him Spaniard.
Yes, yeah, Spaniard, because they think he's a traitor as well.
Yes.
When they first get him.
So he goes into the arena for the first time, and that's probably the first fight after the main one. It goes quite a long time.
Yeah.
To that point. So they're fighting in the arena. How do you feel about that fight?
That's alright. That's the first fight. And it's him and Juba. We'll just go by the characters' names. It's quite a good fight. So obviously they're like, oh, you're going out there. You're not just last long as you can. You're going to die. Just go out there.
And I quite like because there's 3 contrasts. So there's obviously Maximus, where he's a badass, but he doesn't want to do anything. Yeah. You've got Juba's character, who just wants to survive. You've got the German guy, who's Ralph Moeller, who plays Hagen. He wants to show himself as the dominant. And then you've got the little guy, who's pisses himself. So you've got the 3 contrasts of human emotion. You've got despair, survival, anger, and and fear, basically. And I thought that was a really good. Obviously, the guy pisses himself, dies. Yeah. But I've got to give him credit though. He does charge. He tried. He dies.
Obviously, just gets his hand chopped off by the big jet by Hagen, and it's just wow, okay.
You got to do to survive though, because they're obviously together. They're
I love that bit when he's got the hand on the chain. He's just swinging the chain at the guy, just swinging it away. I'm trying to keep him away. I think that's brilliant.
Same as you see them all lining up too. You know how you hear it for the end, they're inside and you hear the outside going
I know.
See the guy that got hit immediately as he walked out. I was like, tough to be you, mate.
Why did they run out? He just ran straight towards him.
Well, obviously you got I'd be at the back. I'd never be at the back. Yeah. So that's a good and then obviously they survive and they see that Maximus actually has talent. Yeah. And at this point, it's not really a time jump, but it sort of goes forward a bit where he's like the champion. Yeah. But you're just meant to expect he's fought several times. Folk know who he is.
And that's where we got a real introduction to. Was it Proximus?
Yes, Proximus. We've seen Proximus a little bit, but this is the main bit where you see Proximus, which is played by Oliver Reed, a fantastic actor. Yeah. I bet you didn't know this. The musical Oliver Twist. Yeah. You know the guy who hits the lassie and has the dog? Yeah. Him.
Oh, really?
He's Oliver Reed.
Nice. But I love it. He goes up and he's like, we need more from you. We know you can kill, but this is about being able to make it a show, a spectacle. And he the Spaniard literally goes out, aka Maximus just goes out and goes, nah, okay. I've got slaughters right through.
Yeah, he goes through, that's a really brutal fight scene where you've got obviously the first classic line where he just goes out and mows everybody down and just shouts at you, not entertained. Yeah. And because he basically just, it's weird, it's like a weird survival thing because he could go out and just die, but then it's like revenge. Yeah. And
it's for me, it's like he wants to die to be with his family, but his pride of being a general, a warrior, it's just
and the revenge of wanting for his family keeps him alive. Yeah. So it's kind of like, I'm not going to do what you want, but I ain't giving up. Yeah. On his own morals, which is that's this point I was like Russell Crowe. The back in the day Russell Crowe, because I'd say this was peak Russell Crowe for me. Yeah, I think he's excellent in this.
Yeah, I think it's definitely his best film, me personally, because it somehow goes down in standard as he goes on.
So we'll probably jump forward a little bit. So they end up going to Rome, and you see a lot of the Senate stuff, and you see Commodus taking over, and there's a lot of senator talk, and there's a lot of stuff to do with politics. Where apart from, for me, so you've been introduced to the lassie character, Lucille, Maximus and Commodus. They are the 3 focused characters in the movie. Yeah. And for me, Russell Crowe is excellent. Joaquin Phoenix is amazing, but she never acting wise comes to their level. In my opinion.
It's her thing is she's literally just sneaking about. There's no scene in this where she's really.
I get it. She cares for her son. Yeah. Her son's the her crux. It definitely plays into the story a lot. Yeah. But she does seem a bit one note, and when
her reactions though to Commodus, the stuff how he reacts, but we'll get into it, how he is towards her. She does it really well by showing the emotion, but nothing stands up to a point where
It's
like,
basically
oh,
most of the movie. It's just get upset.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, and obviously that's it. You're going to feel like that, but she never. Everything else, she's like, where she goes to see the guys for the Senate and say like, "Oh, we need to kill him," and it's like, no, she's nonchalant. If you were properly like, you're only doing this because you fear for your son, not because you care about the Roman people.
Which, going back to Joaquin Phoenix, he does perfectly. He plays that guy that makes her afraid of for her child. The scene where she walks in and he's just staring at the bairn.
Yeah,
really
like that's
close.
my favourite acting performances from like Joaquin Phoenix's movie is the bit where he talks really quietly and then instantly jumps in a furious rage and then goes back to normal. Obviously, we'll talk about a couple of bits later. But those are like my favourite, like when I was talking about when he's confronting his dad with his somber and hanging, and then he instantly snaps in furious rage.
How you would have noticed it, but he's really perky, but kind of like, what's the word? He's got a bit of chemistry before when he kills his dad. But the next scene you really see him and he's really dead-eyed. Like he's just dead in the eyes. Like he knows he's done something, but he's like, this is my world now, I control it. It's such a swift...
It's such a shift, it's fantastic. So if we skip to where they're basically in Rome, and the second big fight scene, which is probably my favourite as a whole, is the fight where they are the barbarians against the chariots.
Yes.
And they're not meant to win, but they do. There's a lot of great fighting in this.
The general stands up. The general comes out and he's like, we need to stick together.
He takes full control,
we'll survive. Yeah, and obviously you get the stragglers, which are just trying to fill in when they get wiped out.
You have to see some sort of gore. But like there's the stuff that they do is smart.
It's like they let one chariot go around and they're like, okay, this is how close it's going to get to us, and then you see them switch the idea, and the minute they come round again he's like, move out, and they go out and they tip it, and it's just one of those things where it's
such a smart fight as well as an entertaining fight. See with that lassie, whether it gets cut in half, that's like a good bit of gore that you need. But the next scene is probably, apart from the end, is my favourite scene, which is probably the most well-known scene in the entire movie, which is where Commodus wants to meet Spaniard at this point.
Yes.
He's wearing the mask, and he goes over and asks who he is, and he just says his name's Gladiator, and he walks away, and he's like, don't turn your back on me, who are you? And he takes off the mask and he does the best, just a fantastic speech. Because another thing I've got to give to this movie is the soundtrack is excellent.
Yeah. Like
it's the big music to the sad music it's fantastic. So yeah, I'll have to nail this because I only watched it yesterday.
Yep.
So he says, my name is Marcus Aurelius Delius, I think his last name. Yeah. I am.
You get there.
He's like, I'm a legionnaire to he's like,
I'm a general to the legionnaire of the Roman Empire.
Yeah, and
I'm a general to the true leader of the
true emperor,
Marcus Aurelius.
There we go. And he's like, I'm a husband to a murdered wife, father to a murdered child. I will have my vengeance in this life or the next. That bit I always remember. It's the start I forget. It's that bit, and then it's got that music, and Commodus's face is just like, how are you alive? What the fuck are you alive? I think that's excellent because they could have easily like done this whole hidden thing where he's like, oh, is he alive? Like it's like this weird like Robin Hoody sort of thing. Like this guy's doing things, but what is it? I love the fact he just straight up says like, no, I'm Maximus.
This is who I am. Yeah. I'm not afraid of you.
He just defies the emperor. And from that moment, for me, now this is probably the down period for me in the movie. So I like certain, like I like the next fight scene where he gets made to fight the
returning champion.
The returning champion with the Tigers. But I don't like the bit where the lassie's just going back and forth trying to convince him, and he's like, no, I'm not going to do it, and then he changes his mind and does do it. And Commodus is obviously like, what the fuck's going on? I do like the bit where Commodus finds out that he's basically trying to escape and bring the armies back to take him over. Because that's that moment where he's holding the sun and he says like, oh, there's this, you heard this story about this lassie, you couldn't trust her. And it's basically talking about him and her. And that's when he like grabs her face and just like,
you will tell me everything.
Like from now on, like anybody whoever hangs me is gonna die. You're gonna love me like I love you.
Yeah.
And then grabs her face and screams at her like I love you. and she's like tears streaming down her face, and then he like instantly like switches back to being normal.
But
that I love.
I love that, and it's credit to I don't know the kid's name. Lucius. Lucius, is it Lucius?
I think it's Lucius.
The kid. I don't know the actor, but it's credit to him while they're in that moment, because the kid's like, even he changes emotion with Joaquin, because Joaquin's telling the story.
When the kid realizes, he knows what he's talking about.
What the fuck? But it's the bit where, as you're saying, through that argument, he stands up and he's like, "You will love me and you will give me a son, a pure blood," and I'm just like, oh. I didn't know incest was really a thing in this movie.
Well, see, the cycle leads up to that sort of. Well, Joaquin is trying to do it. So this is a question I asked because I watched it with Rachel.
Yeah.
Right. Is how old is Commodus meant to be in this movie? Because in my opinion, I think he's a lot younger compared to compared to Lucina.
Yeah, Maximus.
No, like to the sister. He's
he's
a very young brother against an older sister. That's why he's infatuated her like a girlfriend and a mother, other than a sister.
I would say late 20s. He's meant to be in.
I think that's why he's got that attitude about him. He's like a young, brash emperor, but he's obviously his mum's not around anymore. His dad was basically couldn't give a shit about and cared more about Maximus. The sisters he's only have. Obviously,
they do say it through the film because he's like, you're the only one I've always been with. You're the
that's
only one
why
that's loved
when
me.
she betrays him, he's properly like he becomes he basically wants to become a dictator.
Yeah.
Which is as I say, it's an excellent. I'm glad that they like obviously it's the time it came out was 2000. I'm glad they never fucking went there because they could have in some way, shape or form. Obviously, I didn't want them to.
Like, there's no surprise that it was coming to this because there's like, a lot of bits where he pulls her onto the bed and they're lying there together and he's just trying to be, we're brother and sister, and he like, puts his finger in her mouth and then like puts it on his lips. You can tell this is like a thing for him. He's truly attracted to this woman.
Nothing to do
she's
with
like literally disgusted.
The only reason she's ever sticks around is for her son and out of fear.
Yeah, and you can see why that plays a thing in there. She's like, I need you, Maximus. I need you to come do this. I need you to say. But then at the same time,
that's one of the things I didn't like. Is he suddenly just goes? He suddenly is like, yeah, like what changed? Like why changed? Like. To me, he could have just said no, and then they could have been captured trying to escape himself, or he could have said yes.
He says, does he not say yes after the second time Commodus goes out to see him, and Commodus is like, yes, your wife, she was ravished over and over and over again, and you see the emotion in Russell Crowe's Maximus's face. He turns around, he's got tears in his eyes.
He does want to kill him. That is a great bit where he does want to kill him. It's more to do with the fact that I feel like he could have just escaped on his own, or he could have just done that for the beginning.
Yeah.
It's like putting a filler bit in for like extra runtime where he could have said yes to begin with, knew he was going to say it, but still had Commodus said that to make Commodus look even more of an asshole than he is, or have him say no, Commodus say that, so he leaves himself just with his pal. And then, if they wanted to do a big fight scene,
they could have.
They could have, yeah.
Yeah.
I do like the fact though when obviously he does decide to do it, and then the brother Commodus finds out, and it ends up going to shit, and he gets captured. Because for me, having a one-on-one fight between Commodus and Maximus is a far better ending to the giant battle scene. I much prefer the one they chose.
And I'm so glad that. With that final battle, it wasn't a case of you see this big grand fight between them, because obviously you see the Commodus, he only has like one fight moment where he's in the woods half naked.
Yeah, where he's practicing.
Yeah.
If I want to take something back though, because I have to talk about this, because another thing I didn't like was I liked the fight against the former champion.
Yeah.
But because of when it was made, the tigers didn't work for me.
Yeah. Yeah, like see when the tiger's dying and he stabs it and then there's nothing, then it's like like the thing starts roaring.
The same as like you notice when it died and it rolled on its back is meant to be it dying, but clearly the trainer was like playing with it and it like acted playing, but that was meant to be it dying.
Yeah.
For me, I felt like cool, you can use animals, but either just animals or just people, not two at the same time.
Also, how did it fall on its back to die, but then land on top of Russell Crowe?
Well, it jumped on him. It jumped him and he stabbed it.
But then you see the bit where like you said, the trainers clearly made it think it's playing, so it's lying on its back.
Yeah, because he pushes it off, and then to die, it goes like.
Yeah, but how does it land on top of him again? So he has to defend himself with the returning champions trying to kill him.
There is more than one tiger.
Yeah, but he only kills one.
See, that's what I'm saying. They don't use the
Yeah,
animals.
yeah.
That's for me. I like that fight scene, but
Definitely.
just take the tigers out
Also,
of it. It's not a bad choice. It's just because of when it's made.
Another question. That's a bit ago. Did Commodus build the cathedral?
No, it was already built.
It was already there.
It was because Aurelius didn't like the games.
Right, because you see the bit where he's got like a thing, like a toy. I'd say a toy, but it's not. Like he's got a wee tiny version of it, and he's putting stuff in it. And I'm
No,
like,
he didn't build it.
Right.
He let they were closed down. Aurelius didn't like the games. That's why at Proxima and we're all fighting in like the tiny little places.
Yeah.
It was Commodus who opened it back up again to obviously make the people of Rome forget that like they're going through shit basically. Like, oh look, blood, guts, yay! Which I mean, it worked.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll go back to the fight because we're quite near the end, to be honest. How did you feel about the whole, the just the end in general, like the whole thing from start of fight to like the credits?
I liked it. I liked how it went because you see him for the get go. He's literally, I'm dying here.
Well, yeah. For what we're going to take in, obviously, he's hanging up, and Commodus stabs Maximus to weaken him for the fight. You notice that when he said put the armour and cover the wound, you could still see the blood pouring down the side. So it's like defeats the purpose.
It's on his.
Because his men have already watched Commodus basically. I need a one up, like.
Yeah, because in an earlier scene, we see Commodus is being told from Quintus, these are good men. They clearly didn't know. They get sacrificed by Commodus. They're clearly leaving a mark. So it gets to this fight scene, and not in anyone's surprise, Maximus takes the sword and cuts Commodus.
Yeah, he's a much better fighter.
Because it's clearly impact the other soldiers. Like Quintus is clearly like,
because obviously after Hingy doesn't have a weapon, he goes like, give me a sword, and they no, it's because it's a gladiatorial fight. It's one on one. Like there's no interference. Like they've already known that he's a coward.
Yeah.
So at that point, he realizes he's fucked.
Joaquin Phoenix in that moment, even Russell Crowe just tried to play that I'm half dead.
He pulls out the knife and then basically Maximus beats the shit out of him. And the one, just a simple thing that I like is when he gets the knife and he puts it near his throat and like puts it in a little bit, you see Commodus go like like a little bit, like, but it's doing absolutely nothing, and you just see the look in his face after he's realised he's fucked, and then he just puts it through his throat.
I done my thing where I overlook everything. And see as he's trying to do that knife bit, there's a bit where the knife goes to go and it kind of goes to the right, but then the next scene it's in his throat. It's like a split second.
It's probably because they used a fake knife.
Yeah, and I'm like watching that, and obviously that scene's amazing because what I love about that fight scene is the movie really ends the way it begins. Like it starts with this small, grungy, dirty fight. It ends with just two people going at each other. You knew the Romans were going to beat the barbarians. You knew Maximus was going to beat Commodus.
Even half weekend.
Yeah, and just watching him.
And he takes the knife out and it just
slowly
drops.
But he's just staring at him, and then you hear that last straight in the throat.
And Joaquin Phoenix is like, and then he just drops him. And then obviously, then he sees the fields, and Enya plays in the background. Great, that's one of the best music in it. And then he sees his family, and just like I love. How do you feel about where he's clearly dead? He's dying. But he still manages to get out. What's happening with Rome? He's like, free my men, make
because
Quintus in charge.
Quintus turns around and goes, he's like, Maximus,
and
he's just like, he's not even staring at him, he's just like,
free my people. And he goes like, free the people, and he goes like, make him the Caesar, and then drops.
Yeah.
Obviously they had to. They couldn't just have him drop.
Right, we've spoken about her, this Connie Nielsen in this film so far. Do you hate when she tries to do the speech at the end?
I'd say that's probably her best acting in the entire movie. For me.
Yeah, but for me, because of how she's been through the whole 99% of this film, and her trying to give a speech like this just tempers it a wee bit.
Who should it have been then?
I don't know. I'm
glad it wasn't Maximus.
Yeah.
Because he's like dead, he's pretty much fucked.
I would have took Quintus doing it, because he's dropped and he was his brother in arms at one point, and this is like, Quintus is like, oh my god, I know how wrong I am, redeem myself, he was a Roman.
I think it's because obviously she's still royal blood, that coming from her is a big thing, and then obviously they carry him away, leave communist.
How
Nobody
do you
gives a
feel
shit
about that?
about that.
I know, I love that bit when they're just carrying it away and you just see the white body in the background, like, okay. How do you feel about that bit where they all left them? Like, it seems
What else are
weird.
they gonna do?
Because see, when the old dude walks out and he's like, who's going to help me lift them? It
Yeah.
should have been Juba that first walked out.
Have you noticed the wee boy goes in, but then he doesn't?
When I saw it, I'm like, what's he going to do? But like, Juba, I didn't see him in that final
He
cannon.
does.
Yeah, I didn't see him.
He
eh?
does go.
But a random walks out first, and I'm like, no, it should have been Juba. Should have walked there first, and it kind of
The wee boy goes, and then you see the randoms, but Juba and the Hagar, they both go.
Yeah, so good. I love that scene.
And they could have, see, for me, I love the fact that they could have ended with this like highlights of Rome like coming back to normal.
Yeah.
But I love the ending of Juba burying the son and the dolls,
mum.
like the thing he prayed to every night, and then says that I will see you soon, but not yet.
Yeah.
And then that's it.
How do you feel like you wish he had went back to her?
You seen him go back to his family?
Back to-
No, because I kind of like the whole I
Is
will
it?
see them, but not yet.
Yeah, but when he's burying the toys, do you think it's better to do it in the arena where he died or where his family had died? So I feel like he should have went to the two graves and put it in the middle.
It would have been good, but if you remember, they obviously travelled quite far away,
Yeah.
and like that's the closest place for him, I'd say, because going all the way back there to do it, you might have had to put another scene in. I like the fact of it just being there
Yeah.
and burying it in that place, and then they just I'll see you, but yet.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would right. Okay, since this is the very first one,
Yeah.
let's go with a simple. Let's go with a simple 5-star rating.
Okay. We'll come up with something. We'll come up with something at some point that's a bit ours, but we'll just go with it 5-star, right?
Right. Well, I feel like if we're all going to make a choice, it might we'll have to stay with stars. So what are you giving it?
I'm gonna give it 5.
You giving it 5?
Yeah, 5.
I'm giving it 4.
Why? What's your one
For
thing?
me, a 5 out of 5 is a perfect movie with not a lot. Like, but for me, the reason why is Connie Nielsen takes it down. The pacing sometimes takes it down, and that's probably about it. That
My
takes it
only
down for
issue,
me.
like you, is Connie Nielsen is one of them.
She's not terrible.
No, like she's not Matt Wahlberg.
No,
right?
The reason why she's actually really good. But you have to, because she's a central character. You have to compare her to Joaquin Phoenix and Russell Crowe, and she doesn't come. Do you know? Also, just the last thing I want to say about it is that this won Best Picture and Best Actor for Russell Crowe.
Yeah.
I'm really surprised that Joaquin Phoenix never won anything.
The movie alone won 5 Oscars, I believe.
Probably soundtrack, cinematography,
Yeah.
But-
Best movie.
Best Picture and Best Actor. I mean, maybe it didn't, so on the Blu-ray it didn't say Joaquin Phoenix, but I'm a bit surprised
See,
by that.
And another thought, it's like you said, it's not really time jumps, but it's little gaps where he does his first fight, then he's champion. Like those moments were a problem with me, but I don't think those two things were how good the film was for me to knock it down.
Fair enough. So I'm going to take 4, you take 5.
Yeah, but
So-
we're moving on to what we usually do. So I've got to ask you, Fraser, what you done lately?
Well, I've been playing quite a few games since our break. I finished Crackdown 3. It got a lot of flack, but for me, I went in it like just cause. Don't care about the story, don't care about anything going on, I just want to blow shit up and enjoy myself.
Yeah.
Took me about a week to complete, bashed through it, was okay.
Good.
And then the other one me and you have both been playing,
Yes.
which came out of nowhere and became a massive hit.
You're going to hear it, by the way.
Is Apex Legends, which is a battle royale game I actually like.
Yes.
I like it for several reasons. 1, I love the combat.
Yeah.
2, I love the characters. And 3, I love who it's made by. It's made by Respawn, who are the only good company at EA
Yeah.
at this moment in time. And surprisingly, as much as I have shat on battle royales for a long time, I do like this. Doesn't mean I like the rest of them, but I do like this one. And the last thing I'm going to talk about.
No. How about I do my first 2, and then we'll discuss the last
Okay,
one. How about
okay,
that?
fair enough. Right.
Right.
What have you done lately?
Right. I done something that Fraser just couldn't get into. I completed Metro Exodus. Now, this game for me, just going by star rates, I'd give it a 4. Right.
Mhm.
This game, because I like the first 2, right? The world's beautiful, the story's great, the gunplay, and just the characters in it are amazing, right? Beautiful, brilliant game. But it being a Metro game, I don't know why, and this is something you hated, is they kept the feeling of when you're walking through a tunnel. Like
everything was so slow. That I liked the gameplay. I liked the combat, and I liked just the way it looked.
Yeah.
Just the fact that you moved at a snail's pace.
Yeah.
Drove me insane.
And also, like, I get it when we're down in the tunnels. It makes sense. Fine, I'll deal with it. But out in the open world, it's just nippy. And if what annoys me too is it's only till like the third, second place that you go to that they give you a vehicle.
Which is apparently shit.
I found it funny because I kept getting stuck.
Which you shouldn't.
Yeah, like literally every turn I'm like, okay, I can't move now. But what also annoys me is they put it out there that this is a semi-open world game. First place with the water, you get to run around, do what you want. The sand place, you got a wee bit of freedom, but the next two, it was like you have to walk this path or you're fucked. But the ending just failed for me at this game because it's just it puts you up against a character that you've beat simple, and somehow this one's stronger than the rest. It makes no sense. But I'd definitely say fucking 4 out of 5 stars. It's good. I would recommend it.
You sure? No good. I'd say everything you're saying, I'd give it a 3.
Okay, what was 3? Makes sense.
I'm gonna give it a 2 because I liked it. It was so slow.
Yeah.
I couldn't take it anymore.
And
It felt like I was playing it for hours to get one end to the other. I just wanted to piss about and do things. It was, but fair enough. Not every game is for everybody.
And I won't go on about Apex, which I've been playing as well because we spoke about it. But the final thing.
So I played Anthem.
I played it, but I got rid of it early on.
So what to say about this? If we're going on star ratings, I give it -5.
I'd give it 1. But only give it 1 for the flying and the robot.
For me, this is one of the worst games I have ever played in my entire life.
Now, this is an era with Fallout 76 and people, and you remember how much we loved that game.
I did not like this game at all. Eventually, the flying about, as much as it is fun, but see, every mission you're flying about it is just the same as everything else.
Yeah.
The microtransactions that they ram down your throat, the customization that got taken out of the game, that also to do with microtransactions to get most of them.
Yep.
The fact that BioWare clearly took it, EA told BioWare to take out content because there's so many folk that talk to you and there's forecast this thing about something's going to happen and then it never does.
Yeah, like I remember playing it, we found a cave and it was clearly a door, but you couldn't go through it. You couldn't, like we found this cave out of nowhere, under the water, jumped out the other side, door. And the game just acted like it wasn't there. Like you walk towards it and you're like, alright.
People in like for the they talk about tasks like fixing stuff, but then it never comes to fuck all. All the guns look exactly the fucking same, even
and
the legendaries.
It's been proven that it doesn't matter level, like bullets all do the same damage.
It's ridiculous. Like what they showed in the fucking E3 looks better, and that looks shit compared to what they actually released. This is a giant clusterfuck of a game, and EA and BioWare should be fucking ashamed of themselves.
But also, this game, it came out with something that no fucking game should ever come out with. It was literally breaking people's consoles.
So that's when I got rid of it. Where I had bought it on disc, and obviously Calma got rid of it by this point, and I was like, well, I paid for it. I'm going to finish the fucking story.
I don't tend to give up on things.
So I was playing it with one of our friends, and we were bashing, not giving a fuck, because the amount of times that we did, like me and one of our friends, we were on this mission for like a good hour, fighting several bosses, trying to get through. We finally got to the end, and it fucking crashed.
Yep.
And I was so angry about it, and it was fucking bullshit. And then the next day, my pal sent me a video saying that it can break PS4s. Because what I was doing is something, when you turn off your PlayStation 4 and it says like you turned this off wrong, check in software, is that Anthem would completely shut down your console, and then when it would boot itself back up to do the system software, it would see a problem and fuck your hard drive and break your PS4. And I was like, I am not breaking my PS4, 1 in general, and 2 over a game like this. So I deleted and got rid of it. It is a giant fuck up, and I really hope that nothing else this year comes out like that
Yeah,
because it was
because
fucking dreadful.
There's a game coming next month, 2 actually, which we're looking forward to. Mortal Kombat and Days Gone. Right now, Mortal Kombat is Mortal Kombat. It will come out with bugs, but it's going to be awesome one way or the other. But we're getting Days Gone, which is it's got a horde system, which in a sense of look at them, which is just flying about and the characters will load in when you get there. Now this one's going to have a small company is putting this game out, so it's just hordes of zombies. If that works better than what a massive EA/BioWare company does,
It's
That's
honestly,
just a fucking
it's
nightmare.
dreadful. It's honestly, when it comes to looter shooters, obviously I've played the original Division, I've played Destiny 1, I've played Destiny 2, and I'm not a massive fan of looter shooters. I mostly get annoyed when it gets near end game content because you're basically waiting
Yeah.
for shit. But this
Fuck
is
you
the
for the
worst looter shooter I have ever played in my life. It is a looter shooter with shit loot. No point. So yeah, that's probably the thing that's pissed me off the most. The only thing I've only got to say is I'm looking forward to one thing. I'm going to try and leave this on a lighter note. That there is a new show on Netflix called Love, Sex and Robots. It looks like it's got 18 episodes, but they're all little short stories. David Fincher, Tim Miller, the guy from Deadpool 1, which I think I'm going to enjoy. I just wanted to put a lighter note in there instead of finish it.
I would say TV shows here, but I am binging Game of Thrones for next month.
Again.
Oh mate, have
Fair
to.
enough, man. Well, that's in
us.
this episode.
Yeah, we're back again.
I've been Callum. I've been Fraser.
And I've been Callum. And you can catch us on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. It's just a pointless point of view on all of them except for Twitter. It's at of pointless point of view. And again, we've got an episode coming next week. We already have the film picked.
Right, it's Callum's choice.
Yeah.
We may as well tell everybody what next week's episode is going to be.
Next week's episode is going to be Holmes and Watson.
This is his choice, remember.
Welfare. There's a reason, right? Fraser likes Other Guys, which is a Will Ferrell film. So I thought
like Will
Fraser
Ferrell.
likes Will Ferrell.
I like
Fraser likes
Anchorman.
Sherlock Holmes. So
The reason we're picking this is because it's meant to be shit and you want to see
yeah,
it.
I want to see if it's really as bad as everybody's putting out.
So
So
that's next week's episode.
Yes.
Is going to be on Holmes and Watson.
So, but if you have a film, any of the listeners have a film or an opinion on something that they would like us to watch and try and put out, give us a shout. We'll try it. We're open for anything.
Yeah, just leave a comment below,
Yeah.
and whatever you're willing to, we will, even if it's shit, and we know it's shit, we will still do it.
Yeah. As I said before, thanks for listening. See you next week.